Hi, Charlene here, Radical Feng Shui with Charlene. This is my Sacred Space series, and one of the things I want to talk about is creating an altar. Now, a lot of people that I know create altars to put their sacred things on, whether it's the feathers they collect. I'm a feather collector, believe it. Stones, crystals, pictures of masters, pictures of family, flowers. There's always a spot in the house that we kind of like to keep a little sacred, and some people do dedicated altars. So I want to talk about what an altar can be for you. It can be just a part of your desk that you put your family photo and a few rocks or stones or memorabilia of memories that you share that are important and sacred to you. If you're religious, if you're denominational, it can be a symbol of whatever that is to you. It can be anything. It's where it's placed. Often I put it in the center of the home. What I talk about in many of my videos is what not to have at the center: fireplaces, bathrooms, and stairwells, because the energy is moving too fast up and down in the Tai Chi of the home, which is where we connect ground with heaven. So I call that the center of the home. And if I find those in the middle of a house and a floor plan, I'm looking at ways of remedying this. A lot of the Feng Shui I do, probably 75%, is remedial. And yes, I've been able to do floor plans and do new spaces, but right now I'm talking about altars. And one of the things that kind of brings me to altars, we've heard a lot about the cornerstone. And in many cultures, in Europe especially, they would place symbols in the very corner of where they would start a building, and they would cover it up with the brick or the cement nowadays to anchor that home in the earth and make it in some ways sacred. So an altar is, you can have seasonal altars, you put fall leaves in the fall, or you can change them up. It's really important to know that we have to shift it up to keep it energized. So, and it's also, an altar is very personal. It's not everybody's going to have an altar in their house, but we always have a place that we tend to put memorabilia, whether it's on a shelf in a kitchen, or a shelf in our living room where people go, wow, that's a great picture of your family, or what's this beautiful rose quartz, and just certain things. But keep in mind that whenever you put things and objects that are special to you in a certain spot, it kind of becomes a little sacred spot. And we can have a dedicated altar or not, but it's really important to clean, rededicate, take crystals that you've had for a long time. If you want to clear them, the best way that I know is to go out into your garden, plant the crystal, move the dirt, put the crystal in the dirt for a week. Everything that was in that crystal, what it was doing for you, and a lot of people use crystals next to their computers because it pulls away the electromagnetic radiation. The bigger the crystal, the better it works. Those have to be cleared. So every couple of months, plant that crystal in the ground for a week. It drops all that radiation right back into the Mama Earth. And then you can take it back out, rededicate it, talk to it, hold it, speak to it, put your intention into it. A lot about altars is about intention. And I use the word altar very broadly, like people put little spots in their cars that they hang stuff. That can be considered an altar. An altar is a dedication of sacred space, and what that means to you, or means to your family, or means to, your overall family connection. Every religion, denomination, whether you're animistic or not, there's places that we look and go to that feel sacred, and that we can create those in our home in the form of an altar. And yes, we do have to clear and cleanse and shift them up to keep that powerful energy moving all the time. And one of the simplest things you can do, and I've mentioned it before, is have fresh flowers in a certain location in your home. I like to put it in the southeast, whether that's on a table using the 3-door system, or whether that's the southeast in your house. Reminds us that the fortunate blessings, the things that we want to pull towards us, sit there, need to be changed. Flowers die. We have to get a new set of flowers, or new flower. We have to change the water. We're dynamically interacting and changing up energy every time we do that. And that's just a common sense day-to-day thing that we can make a sacred thing in our lives, a sacred practice. So thank you so much for joining me on this series. And if you have questions, leave comments. I'd love for you to subscribe and enjoy your sacred space. Thanks so much.